All right, it is now time for the week 3 fantasy football show. Week 2 in the books, and it was an interesting week number 2. There was some big time performances from certain people. And let's get right into the matchups for week 2. Starting, speaking of big time performances, Zombies team took me behind the woodshed 169.56 to 92.34. Second
Way, zombie.
second straight week I have scored under 100 points and scored the least amount of points for the
Way to go,
week.
zombie. Way to
So
pick up the
not
trash.
ideal, not ideal start for my team as we fall to 0 and 2, deservedly so.
Absolutely.
Bo Nix was about the only highlight of the day besides Pickens. 20 points for Bo. He looked a lot better. Didn't do great in the second half of the game, but he started out on fire with 3 touchdown passes in the first half. Aston Genty, they're not giving him the ball as much as I was hoping they would, but maybe that picks up as the year goes on. He's kind of right now just he needs to get a touchdown because he's not getting enough carries. But when he does get the carry, he does show some burst. So I don't know. We'll have to see about him. Obviously, Brian Thomas, huge disappointment. Marvin Harrison, huge disappointment. Brian Thomas had 12 targets, but only 4 catches. Obviously, some injury wrist concerns, as well as maybe is he seeing ghosts and scared to get hit. So not ideal for my top overall pick. We don't want to have all those rumors flying around. Hopefully he just shows up this week and pops off and puts all that shit to bed, or else we might be in trouble. Um, as I said, Pickens, he was looking like he was about to be benched next week, and then second half he turned it on, got a touchdown to have a decent week. Those were, the few bright spots. On Zombie side, well, it's just full of bright spots. Jared Goff, after everybody questioned that Lions offense in week 1, oh, no Ben Johnson, oh, horrible offense. Goff is, not looking good. Well, all you got to do is just play the Bears to get right. 33 huge points, 5 touchdown passes. And of course, 3 of those 5 touchdown passes was to his mini stack, Amon-Ra St. Brown, with 39 huge points. Devon Achane had I don't even know how he's listed as a running back because he has frickin' 8 catches for 92 yards and a touchdown. He's more of a frickin' wide receiver at this rate because the Dolphins are so shit, so they just throw to him constantly. I mean, everybody did pretty good. The only bad one was Amarian Hampton. He's not looking too great right now for the Chargers. He's starting the season slow, had a fumble as well. That's kind of the only downside. And I believe Zombie said he's given up on the Travis Hunter experience already. He'll be on the bench next week, he said yesterday, as he did not look good. But, he left some points on his bench. JK had a good game. Dunze, who he benched, had 2 touchdowns and 31 huge points, so I'm sure he'll be back in the lineup next week instead of Travis Hunter. Overall, Zombies team looking very strong at the moment. He's 1-1. He put up a huge amount of points this week. I like his team on paper, and his team performed very well, and I think it's a playoff team at the moment. Anybody want to make any comments on this matchup?
Way to go, zombie. Way to put that fucker in a locker. Slam the door.
Okay.
Throw out the fucking key.
All right.
Zombies team is looking better than what we thought it would be come draft night because
Yeah.
we thought he blew it up, and the scary part is he'll have Rashi Rice coming back later on.
Yep. Yep. He will. He'll only get better as it goes on. I think really the only way Zombie kind of ruins this is if he kind of makes a big trade or something and doesn't and gets rid of some of these guys and maybe blows it up some for some reason. I think right now he's looking good, and I think he's a fierce competitor for the weeks to come.
I want to
Yes.
Where is zombie?
He'll be joining in about 30 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, hopefully that'll be enough time to get to where his matchup is. So, all right.
Yeah. Well, we'll save. Why are you facing him next week?
Nope. I
Oh,
face Zach, if
okay.
you remember. You
Oh,
know,
yeah,
I
yeah,
know,
yeah.
I know
remember.
you're getting up there in age, so your memory might be
Okay.
faltering off.
All right. Well, the only thing worse than getting up there in age is having an ass fantasy team that makes you want to off yourself. And right now, my fantasy team is giving me depression every Sunday. So,
Oh,
yeah.
golfer,
So
don't be depressed.
hopefully, I need a week next week where I score over 100 points to at least make myself feel good. So we'll see. Moving on to the next matchup, obviously, Ernie versus Zach. A fiercely contested battle of two great friends that always back each other no matter what. But one of them had to win and one of them had to lose. There was some talk about a possible tie. That was a possible scenario as they both had an even number at the end.
We're still looking for that tie. You know, all
Yep.
those viewers out there that watch every week, because I know you're out there. But yeah, we're looking for that tie. We've been
Yeah.
looking for it for about 10 years.
Yeah.
When that tie happens one day, we're going to pop champagne.
Yeah, I sure hope Zach predicts it when it actually happens. He predicted this one as a tie. It did not happen. It was close, though. Zach with another great week, back-to-back good weeks, so a very good start to this season for him. 147.3 to Ernie's 136.2. Very respectable score by Ernie. I believe it was the third most on the week, so this was a high-scoring matchup, but unfortunately unlucky for Ernie that he was facing Zach, and he falls to 1-1. Zach, one of the 2-0 teams, as I said, off to a very strong start. Another great game for Lemar. Great game for Jonathan Taylor as well with 29 huge points. Connor had a good game, got a touchdown. Jamar Chase obviously showed that week one was a fluke. 36 huge points, 14 catches, a touchdown, 865 yards. He cashed both me and Zach's player props, so me and Zach hit that on the head, knowing that he would bounce back in week 2. I had over the yardage, he had a touchdown, so GG's to Chase there. Obviously, maybe a little bit of concern now with Joe Burrow's injury. We'll see how that affects the Bengals players and Chase, but something tells me if it's going to affect maybe T. Higgins and some of the other guys, but not Chase. I think when in doubt, Browning is going to just throw it to Chase, and that's going to get Zach a lot of points. Scary Terry really is like the only major concern I would say on Zach's team. It's another kind of rough game, only 9.8 points. Did have 9 targets, but once again, Fat Diarrhea Debo outscored him big time in week 2 and in week 1. So I'd say that's probably the only concern. If Zach still had Debo right now, then his team would be unbelievable. But you got to expect Terry eventually will take over as the top guy on that team. We'll see. Kincaid didn't do that great this week, so kind of came back down to earth. And Krosky Merritt, although he did shit in this week, he is a guy moving forward that you could expect to be very good. Zach might have 3 really strong running backs moving forward as Eckler has that season-ending injury. Chubb also had a very nice game with 15.2. I'd say that's kind of top ceiling for Chubb these days. He had, got a touchdown, a long rushing touchdown. Also had 2 catches for 29 yards, which you don't see that often with Chubb. So, yeah, everything going right now for Zach's team. He's getting breaks with the injuries, helping his team. He's having huge performances. Everything's right in the Jackson 5 world right now. Anyone want to make any comments on this matchup or these teams?
I didn't think 4 running backs would be working, but right now it is.
Yeah. Yeah, right now it is. I mean,
interesting team, but it's working.
Yeah, Bill and Chubb are holding it down, and his Jackson 5 are doing their thing, with the exception of McLaurin. On Ernie's side, like we said, unlucky. He did have a good week. Barkley had a decent game. Drake May had a great game. So Ernie started the right quarterback there, so that was good to see. Who else? I mean, Quentin Johnson had another solid game after week 1. I'll give him credit. I did not think Quentin Johnson would do shit this week. And he had 15.9 and got a touchdown, deep touchdown pass. Garrett Wilson came back down to earth, but getting 9 points considering how that game went and how they got blown out and Fields get hurt, not horrible. Pitts did okay. Higgins got a touchdown. I would be a little worried about Higgins, though, moving forward with Browning in there. And A.J. Brown really is the big issue on Ernie's team right now. He did have more targets and more catches this week, but they resulted to like no yards, 27 yards. The Eagles offense just not throwing the ball down the field at all. And
Your
we'll
mic's
see how
terrible,
long.
Pusa.
Huh?
Pusa's mic is terrible.
Oh, yeah. Pusa, can you mute when you're not talking, buddy? Thank you. Yeah, so A.J. Brown might be the only real concern. Maybe Higgins as well moving forward for Ernie, but right now they did okay. Ernie, is in a decent spot, I think. No real issue for right now as he's 1-1. We'll see though how his wide receivers go moving forward with the injuries to Fields and Burrow and A.J. Brown and the Eagles offense not wanting to pass the ball down the field. Any comments on Ernie's team at all? Anybody want to make?
Nope.
Nope, I got no comments, just like how Ernie has no comments.
Okay. All right. Moving on to the third matchup. Obviously, this was the best one of the week, the closest one of the week. It came right down to the last game or the Monday Night Football game, the 7 o'clock one, right down to the wire, very down to the very last drive. Rat picks up a big win over Kroenke, 112.6 to 110.14. Sends Kroenke to 0-2. Obviously, I'm sure Kroenke does not want to be seeing that. Rat, though, gets that big win to avoid starting 0-2 as the defending champ. It was a gritty win that he pulls out. Baker Mayfield did enough on that final drive. It was a fourth down play. Rat needed like 1.5 points. It was fourth down and like 8. Baker's in the pocket. He's like steps up. It looks like he's going to get hit and sacked by a free runner on the outside. He steps up, avoids him somehow, and then takes off on his bum leg for like a huge run for like 16 yards and gets Rat in the lead. And then he didn't turn over the ball or anything to give it back. So a huge play. If he gets sacked right there, the game is over. And Kroenke pulls it out. So just a crazy play there for this matchup. Rat did okay. 112 is not a bad score. But he did, have to face someone that scored a little less. If he would have faced Ernie, obviously he would have lost. But, Baker did enough to get him the win. Kamara had a decent game. Tracy got 9, which wasn't horrible for all things considered. CeeDee Lamb had a nice bounce back game with 9 catches on 11 targets, although he didn't get in the end zone again. Nico got in the end zone early on, and you thought, okay, this is going to be a huge Nico game. And then it kind of like stalled after that. He did have 9 targets, but only 3 catches. So a little bit of a Brian Thomas, a lot of targets, but not a lot of catches type of situation. And Njoku just did okay. Smith hard to know what's going to happen with Smith moving forward. That Eagles offense is going to have to start opening it up for Smith and A.J. Brown to get some points. Obviously, he was hyping up Pop Douglas all week long before this. And now Pop Douglas is on the free agent wire. Who would have thought? Everybody predicted that last week except Rat, as he did absolutely nothing. On Kroenke's side, very close. Obviously, he wins this matchup if Joe Burrow doesn't get that turf toe injury, so you hate to see that. That's like, what? That's the second time now in a row you faced Rat, and your quarterback has gotten hurt and cost you the win, Kroenke? I don't think. Oh,
correct.
and you gotta face Rat again this season before the season's over. You might want to consider putting in some bum quarterback when you face Rat at the end of the season to preserve your starting quarterback.
No, he's going to get hurt in that week again. It's inevitable.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So start some bum guy. That way the bum guy gets hurt.
It doesn't matter who I start.
Okay.
That guy will get hurt.
All right. Obviously Bijan had a good game. Didn't get into the end zone. They gave Tyler Algier the touchdown for some reason. So that obviously hurt Kroenke. That could have been the difference in him winning. But a great game from Bijan, obviously. Tony Pollard got 20 carries, had 92 yards, but with Pollard, you're not going to get any catches. So he's got to get in the end zone to get that, high score. JSN did his normal thing. He looks really good so far this season. Devontae Adams, I will put my hand up and say he's looking good right now in that Rams offense. Both wide receivers, Puka and Adams, are thriving in that offense. 6 catches for 106 yards and a touchdown. Just a great game there. Can somebody invite Zach? Since apparently he doesn't know how to join off me. Hawkinson is obviously a big disappointment for Kroenke this year. Similar to my boat with Evan Ingram, these guys were taking kind of mid rounds, rounds like 7, 8 in that range, and they have not produced or looked anywhere near what they were drafted. And I mean,
I might wipe my ass with T.J.
yeah,
Hawkinson.
I mean, when you take a guy in the 7th, 8th round as a tight end, you're not expecting him to pop off every week like the top tight ends that you take in the beginning rounds, but you're expecting them to like have weeks, like be involved in the offense and have their share. And Hawkinson and Ingram, like they're barely out there. When they are out there, they're blocking half the, like it just has not been the roles that I think me or Kroenke would have expected for these two tight ends. So those aren't looking good. Jameson Williams, though, had a nice game, 18.8 points. Ricky Pearsall just did kind of okay, a little bit stepped down from his week before. And the kicker kind of hurt Kroenke as he missed the field goal in the fourth quarter that hurt him and was the difference really in the
And who does
Broncos
that
game.
kicker play for?
The Broncos, and they choked
Okay.
that game because not only he missed that kick,
Gotcha,
but then
yeah.
they also had the penalty on the kick for the Colts that the guy missed. So yeah, overall bad kicking day for the Broncos on both sides, and bad, and it hurts your team, Kroenke, because those points, if he makes that field goal, you win your matchup. So Kroenke, 0-2 start. You join the likes of me and Pook at 0-2. You have a lot of bets with people, which we'll get into your bet with Zach this upcoming week. But you have a lot of season bets as well. An 0-2 start ain't good. Your thoughts?
0-3.
And now you are without Burrow for the rest of the season.
Yeah, so I will say that, Burrow last week sucked. Burrow this week got hurt.
Yep.
Traded for a quarterback. Hopefully he'll do better things for me. But everything
He's
else
hurt too, buddy.
considered, I have a tight end that I'm going to replace this upcoming week. But everybody else on my team, I'm very happy with. I think they're doing their thing.
All right.
Enjoy Danny Penny.
All right.
I'm going to go take a shower, and I will be back on for my matchup prediction.
Jesus. Okay.
You don't want to come back for that.
All right. Looking over to Rat's side, like we said, had a decent overall game. Your comments after beating Kroenke and what kind of felt like a must-win. You really wanted to win this one, I'm sure, not start 0-2.
No more Pop Douglas. I don't know what I thought. Xavier Worthy looks like he's coming back, so that's going to be a key piece.
Okay.
You'll see the trade later on that I think was good for me, that I needed another running back that wasn't just Tracy, because it seems like half the league now is in timeshare, so it's good to get a better upgraded running back.
Okay.
And Nico, I was happy with the 9 targets. I mean, we were going back and forth. Was it Stroud's fault? Was it Nico's? Could have been a little bit in both. I think they got to learn how to connect better. And then Lamb is, he's getting his 11 targets game, and once he gets into the end zone, that he's just going to keep rising, and he's going to turn out to be that stud.
Okay.
So, I do like the direction of the team, especially with the Lamb.
One question I wanted to ask you, earlier before the show, you were sounding some concern for Devontae Smith, your boy.
I am, because this Eagles I think even for AJ Brown, like the Eagles passing game is just not existent right now, and I don't know what they're going to do, but
yeah, it's definitely not existent right now. The question is it going to become existent?
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
See, I have a theory, and you may not like this theory, but I think you should hope that the NFL finds a way to outlaw your tush push. Because if they outlaw that, I think then that's just forcing you to try to have to pass some more.
Yeah, maybe.
So I think you should want that.
I just hope we start passing that, because definitely hurts the value. But yeah.
See, but you want them to pass more, but then what happens when Hurts, starts throwing some bad balls and some picks?
Whoa.
And then you start turning on Jalen Hurts.
And another thing is, I'm going to say that, I'm not going to say injuries or anything, but when is the last time we saw a running back sustain 350 carries in back-to-back seasons? And hopefully we're smart and save Barkley, because I don't want to run the guy into the ground. I don't want to.
Okay.
It's hard to keep a running back healthy.
Why not? Run until he can't run no more.
Oh, whoa. That's what I'm saying.
That was
what
the whole
running backs are
reason.
for.
That
They're in
was
the
the
league
whole
for a couple
reason.
good years. You get some great work out of them, and then, you shove them off.
Let him go, yeah. But that was part of the reason that I wasn't that high on Barkley from where he was where he was going.
Yeah,
Fourth pick, because I didn't think, one, he'd be able to repeat exactly what he did last year, because I didn't think they would use him quite as much. But so far this year, they definitely have. So
hopefully he starts. So.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right. Well, like I said to you the other day, Rat, you can just keep predicting that Hurts is going to air it out, and maybe one of these weeks, eventually, maybe you'll be right. I don't know when that will be, though. But if you just keep predicting it every week, then maybe eventually it'll happen.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Zach, since you joined now, did you want to make any comments? We already went over your matchup with Ernie. Big win for you and a great start for your team this year. Everything looks positive for you. Even injuries are helping your team with Bill now being the number one guy.
It was a great matchup. It was actually closer than you think to a tie.
Yep.
I think, Quentin Johnson only needed, 27 points exactly, 13 points exactly for a tie.
Yeah, he needed 11.1. That's how much Ernie lost by.
I was rooting for it. It was very close. I thought we were going to get it at some point.
Yeah.
But
he got that long touchdown, and then that gave it a slim chance of happening.
Yeah, if my boy Ernie needs help in our second matchup to get to the playoffs, we'll make something happen.
I don't know what you mean by that, but okay. All right. Well, congratulations on your start. You've started very well. Your team's looking very good.
Also, I'd like to say my week 1 matchup, I played against the Scrubs. So really, good matchups. Only 1-0.
You got bailed, buddy.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
I didn't say any names. But that week 1 matchup was a Scrub matchup. Easy win.
All right, moving on to the other 0-2 team that possibly is a scrub, besides myself. Pook starts 0-2 as well, which is a bit of a surprise. Kind of gets hammered by Slaps. The newcomer in the league is 2-0, 135.58 to 99. Or sorry, Anth. Yeah, Slaps is also 2-0, but Anth, the newcomer in the league, 2-0, strong back-to-back strong weeks to start his season. Pook's team, 99 points, looking a little rough. One bright spot, Dak Prescott did rebound from his first week with 22 nice points. That Giants game was crazy back and forth, 40-37, so big game for him there. Kind of a disappointment in week 2. Travion Henderson, only 6 points, only got 3 carries. Stevenson popped off with, I think, 20-some points. So that's kind of a little rough. He's definitely not the guy yet. He's kind of more the passing back type of guy. But he only had 2 catches and 30 yards, so he's going to probably have some of these weeks until they start giving him more carries, or if Stevenson fucks up somewhere, then maybe he'll start turning into the guy. Chuba Hubbard, though, did have a nice game with 18 big points. Interesting enough, he did have a trade on the table where he was trading away Hubbard and Metcalf to Slaps that was on 6 approves that he proposed to Slaps, and then he canceled it on the final dime right before it got the 7th approve. So interesting enough, which I do think that was a decent cancel for Pook, because I liked Slaps' end better. I know there was a mixed opinion on that.
Would that trade have helped him this week, though?
I don't. Who was the guys? Let me see if I can see.
Jacobs and Cup for Chuba and DK Metcalf.
And what Cup did? Nothing.
Cup
right?
It doesn't.
He had 16.
Too big of a margin still, though.
Cup had 16 and Jacobs had 14. So Jacobs had less than Hubbard. So no, it wouldn't have changed this at all. You've lost by a ton. But anyways, Justin Jefferson only 11 points. They're now benching, or I guess injury benching, J.J. McCarthy and going to Carson Wentz, the journeyman former everything. Carson Wentz is now going to be starting. We'll see how that helps, it can't really hurt Jefferson, can it? If anything, maybe it helps him, because McCarthy has looked like dog shit besides one quarter this season. So maybe that helps Jefferson get going. He had an okay week 1 and kind of just mediocre week 2. Not definitely what, people expect for Jefferson. DK also in that same boat. He got a touchdown. So usually when you get a touchdown, you're in like the 17, 18 point, not the 11 points. So rough. He only had 3 catches for 20 yards and the touchdown. Brock Bowers has been a guy, I think a lot of Pook's troubles for his team start with Brock Bowers. He's got kind of injury issues. He doesn't look 100%. I mean, he had a good week 1 with 15 points, but only 8 points in week 2. I don't know. We're used to Brock Bowers being like the focal point of the offense and getting 20-point game, getting receiver type numbers, and he's kind of just putting up tight end type numbers right now. So that's got to be a little concerning for Pook's team. Shakir as well, 2.2 points. When the Bills score 30 points, that's rough when Shakir's only getting 2.2, and Coleman didn't do much better. So who got all the production for the Bills? Was it Cook? I didn't even see this game. I think it was James Cook and Allen. Tillman, 10 points. That was a good play for this week from his final flex. And Fairbairn got 9.8. He did end up taking out that Tennessee wide receiver who he had in on the show last week. And he did slightly better, but it wouldn't have mattered at the end of the day. Overall, some concern. I'm sure if Pook was here, he'd probably voice a little bit of concern. He's been voicing concern this week in the chat about how it's darkness.
He is in panic mode.
He sounds... Out of all 3 of the 0-2 teams, I think Pook is the most concerned right now. Now, should he be the most concerned? I don't know. Yes. That's a debate. Rat, you say yes?
I think Pook should be worried about last place.
Oh, okay. All right. I don't know about that far last place, but definitely a concerning start with his team not performing, similar to my team not performing as well. Kroenke's team kind of been mediocre as well, but I think a little bit better. So I think between me and Pook, I think we should be the most concerned. Anyone make any comments on this matchup or Ant's team looking very good from the start?
Ant's been getting lucky.
Oh, getting lucky.
Whoa.
I mean, he put up the most points in week 1 and then put up 135 this week. How is that luck?
Yeah. Luck. James Cook looks good. I should have picked James Cook.
Lightning does strike twice.
Yeah. James Cook, I said it in the draft. I don't think he was going to get as many touchdowns as he got last year, and he's proving me wrong so far through the first 2 weeks. He has 3 touchdowns in 2 games. So that's not good. I guess the only downside for Ant's team was Breece Hall only got 5.8 points without Fields there. We'll see how that affects him. Mahomes, though, another really solid game with 22. He has had a good start fantasy-wise. It's funny, the team was 15 wins last year, and Mahomes was horrible for fantasy. This year, the team's 0-2, yet Mahomes is looking great for fantasy with 2 20-plus point games. So it's funny how that doesn't always correlate. Obviously, Malik Nabers, the huge story in week number 2, with Nabers getting 37.7 points. Russell Wilson was just throwing it to him for fun. Down the field, 2 touchdowns, 167 yards. He is looking like one of those wide receivers. There was wide receivers taken ahead of him, and I just wonder if we redrafted right now, how many of those wide receivers would still be taken ahead of him? Rat, would you still take Nico and CeeDee Lamb ahead of Malik Nabers right now? Really? Both of them?
I would take CeeDee Lamb.
You're delusional.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think I'd be taking
CeeDee Lamb, yes. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
All right.
Ask me if I would take Jamar Chase over him.
I think we know the answer to that. Would you take Jamar Chase over him?
Yeah.
Really? Okay. Wow. So
I will take Jamar Chase over... Yeah, I said I will
I'll
take
be back
Jamar
in 5
over
minutes.
Nabers.
Oh, I thought I was asking, would you take Malik Nabers over Jamar Chase? And you said yes.
No.
So that's why I was confused.
No.
Okay.
We were backwards there.
Okay. All right. On the other side, Drake London. He's kind of been the one down spot. Him and Laporta, they've been the down spots for Anth so far. Those kind of the only thing that's been concerned. Etienne with another great game this week. So he's looking great for the first 2 weeks. I will say something about Ant's team. His team is off to a great start. He's looking really good. He has guys, though, that, haven't produced yet. like Laporta and London through a couple weeks. And then he's got some guys that have overproduced what a lot of people did not think, like Etienne. James Cook has been balling out. Mahomes has been balling out. I just wonder if all those are going to consistently stay for the rest of the year. That could kind of be where Ant's team maybe falls down some. But right now it's looking great. All right. Moving on to the next matchup, we have Tyler taking on Cheese. This one was an interesting one, but Tyler gets his first win of the season after starting 0-1 in Week 1. Takes down Cheese to send him to 1-1, 128 to 110. Cheese did not have a hero game from Josh Allen this week as they put up 30 with James Cook doing it all, so Allen didn't have to do much. McCaffrey, though, did have another nice game, and more importantly, did not get hurt. Dylan Sampson had an okay game for a second running back spot. Ladd McConkey, the guy you traded for early this season, hasn't really balled out yet, and also is a little banged up. That's got to be a little concerning. He just hasn't gotten in the end zone yet so far this year. He's been active on the offense. Courtland Sutton, big surprise after his strong start to the season. Only 1.6 points, 1 catch, and only 4 targets. He was kind of shut down by the Colts defense, so that was a surprise. Tucker Kraft obviously was a big story. He got Cheese off to a great start on Thursday Night Football with 6 catches for 124 yards and a touchdown. That's big for Cheese if he has a tight end that's putting up those type of numbers. Could Kraft be one of those, top 3-4 tight ends of this season that, you could have got in the late rounds? I'm sure Cheese is hoping he continues that. We'll have to see. Jacoby Myers been solid so far this year, getting a lot of targets, so that's good for Cheese's team. And then Booty got a touchdown early in the game, but then didn't do anything after that and only finished with 8.6. So, this was a potential game that Cheese could have won. Some of his guys started the game out well and then kind of fell off. And maybe if Courtland Sutton has a little bit of a better game, if Ladd gets in the end zone, or if Booty gets some more catches after his touchdown, then this is a different game and maybe Cheese pulls it out. But that did not happen. And Josh Allen and McConkey and Sutton kind of let Cheese's team down this week, and a down week for him. On Tyler's side, he had a nice game from Bucky Irving and Kenneth Walker. Both his running backs showed up. Puka Nacua continues to look very good. He's another one that I think some people might take over certain wide receivers. But Tyler did kind of take him higher than I think what most people would have. Obviously, his Bears, DJ Moore, continue to just be mediocre, and his Bears are a mess. Aaron Jones, a big story though for Tyler as he's now on IR, so he's kind of got to replace a flex option now on his
Tyler
team.
Needed that win right there with Jones going on IR.
Yeah, he did.
He got it.
He does have Jawan Jennings, who had a great game in Week 2, and Wan'Dale Robinson, who had 28 points on his bench, and Keenan Allen as well.
I had Wan'Dale last year, and he was ass.
Oh, well, he had a great Week 2. So he does have options on his bench to replace Aaron Jones. He's got 3 wide receivers in Allen, Jawan Jennings, and Robinson that he can kind of put in based on matchups. So it's not all horrible for Tyler in his flex spot with Aaron Jones going down. Olave's done okay in the circumstances of how bad the Saints are. He's gotten double-digit points both weeks, so I'm sure he'll take that. Overall, a good win for Tyler, one that he needed to get. Obviously, Jaden Daniels is a little banged up from that game. He ended with 19, which is actually a miracle.
It's okay.
Because based on how that game went for the Commanders and how they got shut down for almost the whole game, to get 19 points from that game was a miracle for Tyler. At the end, got some garbage time points. But overall, good win for Tyler that he needs. You want to make any comments on either of these teams, Zach?
Daniels is okay.
Okay.
Cheese is very right about his team name Slaps 2.0 because Slaps over the years has been known to fall off the ball a little bit and panic. He's pretty lucky that's not happening this year. Okay. Just give it a couple games or two, and Slaps will panic, and then Cheese will be back on the right track. I think somehow he'll make some moves.
Okay.
And he'll get a win or two. I don't know his schedule, but maybe he'll play bums like Pusa and Golfer, and we'll see what he can do.
Okay.
So my Cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think with Cheese's team is a little bit like Slaps. I noticed today he put his boy Lad McConkey already on the block. I don't understand that from Cheese because he traded at a certain price for Lad before he even played a game, which that price is gonna definitely be higher now, or what he traded for before the season was definitely higher than what he can get now. So I don't
Me?
understand why he's shopping him unless he just finds some idiot that's gonna pay more than what he gave up to
We
get
do
him.
have a few of those in our league.
I mean, he gave up Derrick Henry. I know Derrick Henry did nothing in week 2, but he gave up Derrick Henry for him, and I don't think he's getting a player of that caliber back if he trades him right now based on how he's done the first 2 weeks. So I don't understand shopping him, but that would be kind of a Slaps 2.0 move if you trade a guy after you overpaid to begin with or paid a higher price and then you trade him away on a low. So we'll see if he does that. Brett, you want to make any comments on Cheese's loss or Tyler's win?
Honestly, Tyler has a good team. I just Cheese. I think it's gonna be looking forward to this week's matchup and see his after trade and stuff. Everybody will see what he did, and yeah, it's questionable. Some questionable trades by Cheese after this week.
Okay.
We'll see.
All right, so we'll see if he does that. All right, moving on then to the final matchup of last week. We saw Bill versus Slaps, and Slaps gets another win in week 2 to go to 2-0 on the season. So very strong start for him as well. Takes down Bill 121-98. Rough week for Bill after a good start to Bill's season where he pulled out a win. He kind of takes a little step back here in week 2. Obviously, the big story with Bill, he did start the right quarterback this week with Herbert. He got 18. Kyler only got 14. So he did do that. Jahmyr Gibbs had a strong outing. 12 carries and 94 rushing yards and a touchdown, and also had 3 catches. So good sign for him. Obviously, the big disappointment was Derrick Henry. As I said before, only got 2.3 points. Only had 11 carries only for 23 yards and no end zone. Jerry Jeudy kind of looks mediocre, 9.10. I will say the bright spot Bill, the McMillan rookie from Carolina, is looking very good. Had a nice game, getting 10 targets for 100 yards, 16 points, so that's big. Hunter Henry, who I believe, did you trade him to him, or did he pick him up?
I traded.
Yeah, you traded him to him, and he did absolutely fuck all, 1.9 points. Another bright spot for Bill, Abuka, had another game where he was pretty active with 12.9 points, had a touchdown. That's now 3 touchdowns through 2 games for the rookie Abuka. If he keeps that pace up, easy rookie of the year. So that's good for Bill. Calvin Ridley, a lot of people were high on him. I was not one of them that was high on him, and so far this season, 6.7 and 8.7 points, looking very mid and mediocre on a bad Tennessee team with a rookie quarterback. I don't know about that. And then he's already changed his kicker. He dropped Bates and switched. On Slaps' side with the tush pushers, obviously it starts with the tush push running guy himself, the running back playing quarterback, Jalen Hurts. Only 11 points this week. Did get that touchdown though, the tush push touchdown. Of course, thank God he got that because he's not going to throw a touchdown pass. Only 101 yards passing. Yikes. Josh Jacobs had another pretty decent game, 23 carries, 84 yards, and a touchdown. Chase Brown, a little bit of a concern. A lot of people were very high on Chase Brown. I was one of them to start the season. I just wonder now with Browning, do we see the type of check down and him incorporated with the passing game as much as he would have been with Burrow? He's going to have to. He got 16 carries, but only got 47 yards. The Bengals' offensive line is dog shit, so they're not going to be able to run the ball on most teams. So really, Brown's upside was that passing game, and I just wonder how that's affected now with Browning. So we'll have to see there how that is affected. Tyreek Hill, though, was a positive in week 2 after his horrible week 1. Had 16.9 points, had over 100 yards finally. So there was a bit of a Tyreek sighting. I know that's all Slaps needed now to ask a higher price on Tyreek Hill. All he needed was to see that one good game to give him hope now for Tyreek Hill, and he has that.
I don't think Slaps will trade Tyreek Hill all year.
Yeah. Well,
not because he doesn't want to, but because nobody will fucking trade for Tyreek.
I sent an offer this week that included Tyreek Hill.
At Slaps' price, nobody will trade for him.
Yes, at Slaps' price, nobody will trade.
Why the fuck would you want Tyreek, Golfer? Your team is 0-2.
I'm 0-2. I'm trying to. I was gonna take a flyer and try buying low.
You're trying to hit a home run?
No, I was trying to buy low on some guys and take a risk. I'm 0-2. I gotta change up something.
You know what Slap does?
Taking a risk on Tyreek is not worth it.
Well, I mean, he looked good in week 2.
Slaps is
and maybe he gets traded. That's more of the risk I'm taking is that he gets traded to the Chiefs or something.
That's not a risk worth taking, buddy.
Okay. Well, he looked good. What were you saying, Rant?
Slaps in his trading is funny because he'll say, "Look at what happened this week. He'll do good." But then if he did shit, he'll be like, "Look what happened a week ago." Even though Slaps has changed a lot this year. He goes off of week by week, not.
I mean, I feel like he's always done that. He always is recency biased on whatever.
Yeah, just wait till he scores 80 points. He'll make like 3 trades in the week.
He is the biggest, recency biased player
Welcome back, Rocky.
But see, the funny thing was Slaps in week 1 after Tyreek did shit, he was trying to trade him to anybody, but nobody wanted him or didn't want to pay his price because it was too high. Now there's some people that might take him, but they're not going to take him anywhere near Slaps' price, and that's the problem because he raised his price after what he did in week 2. Instead of looking at the outset and thinking, okay, is Tyreek Hill going to do these type of games every week? I don't think so.
No.
That often.
Also, Golfer, you said Bills book trash as the rookie of the year. Yes. That is false. It will be my Bill McCloskey.
All right. Well, so far, how many touchdowns does Bill have?
It doesn't matter how many you have through 2 weeks.
All right. Well, I don't think that will happen, but we'll see. All right. Obviously, I have to talk about Fat Diarrhea because right now he is diarrhea all over my takes for this season. 17.4 points, another touchdown, 7 catches on 8 targets, outperforming Scary Terry once again in week 2. I don't know how he's doing all this because what I saw last year was dropping passes and being shit. But the Commanders are using him, I guess, correctly.
My commies are actually good.
Yeah, I guess they're using him correctly. So big up to Slaps, getting him in that trade that a lot of people were not. I mean, there was a lot of trap words being floated around that Zach traped Slaps, and right now it's looking like the other way around.
Buddy, it's 2 weeks.
Okay. Trey McBride had a decent game. Kyren Williams kind of just did okay. Lower end for him. And Cooper Kupp, another guy he got in that Debo trade with sending Scary Terry, had a nice game. I got to give him credit. 16 points, way more. Actually had, 7 catches for 9 on 9 targets. So very good game. If he gets more of that, then that trade really works for Slaps. And even the new Justin Tucker had a nice game with 12 points. So overall, solid. Slaps' team is looking pretty solid. He does have those question marks now with Chase Brown moving forward. Hurts, can he throw the ball moving forward? Tyreek Hill, is he going to do these type of games moving forward? But then he's got some solid guys like Jacobs, he's always solid. McBride is solid. Kyron's going to be solid. So overall, his team on paper looks really good right now based off how they're performing. Anybody want to make any comments on Slaps or Bill's team?
Slaps, this is probably the peak of his season right here. It can only get worse from here.
Okay. All right. Cronky, are you here?
I'm here.
I know you usually like to comment on Slaps, so any comments for Slaps starting 2-0 and you starting 0-2?
Yeah, let me also say this is the peak for Slaps' team, but Pusa won't even get this high during the season. Like, Slaps' team right now is better than Pusa's team will be all season.
Okay.
I appreciate that, Zach.
All right. Any comments on Slaps starting 2-0 and you starting 0-2?
No, not so ever. Slaps is nothing to worry about, and it will never be anything worried about. So.
Really? Okay. So right now, his team, you like your team better.
Yep.
Really? Okay. I think that's a little bit of delusional la la land, but all right, fair enough.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
I don't think you're taking into a factor that my quarterback's been, just non-existent for the last 2 weeks, but that's
fine. And how do we know it's going to be existent moving forward? You're gonna have to have a different guy.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay. All right. I mean, Cronky, the way you were saying that was like your quarterback's going to be existent the next couple weeks. It's a whole different quarterback. That's all I'm saying. All right. So looking at the standings then, after those week 2 matchups, we have 3 2-0 teams. Anth, Zach, and Slaps all at 2-0. Right now, Anth has the most points for out of those 3, so he's in the top spot. Then we have a whole slew at 1-1. Zombie after his win versus me. Cheese after the loss. Tyler getting the win to go to 1-1. Ernie falls to 1-1. Bill falls to 1-1. And Rat picks up that win over Cronky to go to 1-1. So right now, Ernie would be in that last playoff spot with the 0.4 margin over Bill and Rat. And then we have the 3 0-2 bottom of the cellar teams. Pook, the 10th spot, Cronky in the 11th spot, and myself in the 12th spot. Not where you want to be when the rest of the league is all over 200 points for, and you are at 180. So not good for me at all. And hopefully we can turn this around in week 3 with somehow a win. So that is the standings. Looking here at the waiver claims that were made. Obviously, last week number 1 was a huge waiver claim week with a lot of money being spent. This week, not quite as much, as there wasn't really much available in week 2. No guys really popped off of the waivers. Ernie did spend $20 on Tyquan Thornton from the Chiefs. Nobody else bid on him. I'm not really sure about this move. Does he not know that Xavier Worthy is going to be coming back? And Hollywood Brown is still there, so I'm not really sure about this move. But apparently Ernie knows something that we all don't. Daniel Jones picked up by Cronky on a $15 bid. Got him over Bill, who bid $7. So good move here for Cronky. What an overpay. Obviously, he needs quarterback this week. He did trade, which we'll get into a minute, a trade for Justin Fields. What Fields is now ruled out this week with a concussion, so he needs a quarterback for this week at least. And Daniel Jones has been on fire to start the season. I was very surprised what he did to my Broncos in week number 2, who have a good defense. So it looks like a good fit there in the Colts. He's got a good matchup as well with Tennessee this week to fill in.
What an overpay.
Fill in for Cronky. Cronky, I like that move for you this week. Any comments you want to make on that?
No, I think it's a very good move for this week. We'll see going forward.
I like that. So you're not committing to him being like your whole starter moving forward, obviously. I like that. Because I do think his magical run here will run out eventually. It's Daniel Jones after all. But I think he could do good this week. Rat picks up Isaiah Likely for $5. All these are like single dollar bids, nothing too crazy. He also gets the Bears backup running back for $2. And then we have some kicker changes. Zach had to decide between the Atlanta kicker that had to replace his Koo or Young Ho. Or go with the Minnesota kicker. He went with the Minnesota kicker, and the Parker Romo guy outperformed him big time. So what does Zach do? He drops that Minnesota kicker and gets Romo instead. Other than that, and also Bill changed kickers and Cronky changed kickers. So there was waivers. Looking here at, like we mentioned, the trades from this past week. A few trades, nothing crazy. Usually early in the season, kind of people want to feel out their teams, but there was a few. Started with Cheese and Zach early in the week, made that trade with R.J. Harvey and Eckler, who's out for the year, which Cheese knew that when he made the trade. So basically just dropping him instantly. So it's basically it's R.J. Harvey for Dobbs and Warren. obviously, I do like R.J. Harvey for a long-term play down the line this season. I think he could become something. But to give up kind of Warren, who's like an established running back right now, when Cheese kind of needs a running back, I don't really understand that type of move. And I believe Cheese said yesterday that he already regrets this trade, if I remember hearing him correctly.
I think
he said that?
I think he did say that. He said he fucked up in this.
I think he's fucked up.
I was gonna wait until after the games because that trade happened after Thursday where we had some players play.
Yes.
And I almost waited and
you were
told
worried he was
Cheese
going to change his mind?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's smart by you.
I also think that Thursday we saw a lot of Packers get hurt. We saw not saying Dobbs is anything special, but like Jesus' team doesn't really have wide receiver options, and Dobbs could have been plugged in a couple weeks here and there. And
Warren, you know how I feel about the Packers. When one gets hurt, there's three more there to replace him.
And Warren was showing potential as a running back, and she just threw him away.
Yeah, I mean, I understand taking the upside on Harvey for down the line if you have enough running backs to, fill you. But when you got to start Tyler Algier in your second running back spot because you don't have anybody else now, then I don't see how you can give up Warren and take the upside approach. You only can do this type of trade if you have other running backs locked down to sustain your team. And he doesn't have that. That's why he originally traded to get Warren.
He has Harvey.
And this all stems back to the original trade of trading away. So he traded away Juggernaut Gervonta, who's had 20-plus point games both weeks, to get Warren, who's been okay, but not been anywhere near Juggernaut Gervonta. And now he trades away Warren for a guy that's a pure upside play down the line because J.K. is the running back right now. I don't understand it from Cheese's side, but I guess he's just trying to take upside and hope for the best.
That trade was almost my guy. It was going to be the same trade, but instead of fucking Warren, it would have been that Browns player that he has. Who's the Browns
Samson?
Guy? Yeah.
Yeah.
I had the choice between Samson and
Cheese is an idiot.
Wow.
Yeah, I had the
he
choice.
gave you the choice on those two?
Well, he didn't give me the choice, but the original offer was
Samson.
Warren. I said, let me think about it. And then he sent me the same thing for Samson. I said, okay, let me think about it. So I kind of did have the choice.
Okay.
And I went with Warren.
I think if you gave up Samson, it'd be a little less hurtful for Cheese, but I don't know. I'm not big on Samson, but I'd like Warren more than him. But I don't know. It'll be interesting. Like I said, Cheese did say yesterday that he fucked up a trade already, and I think he was talking about this one. So, yeah, I don't think he's too happy with it. Moving on to the next trade we had earlier in the day yesterday, we saw Rat get his first regular season trade done with Zombie. Zombie acquires Jordan Love, who he eventually turns around and trades later on in the day to me. But he gets Love and Godwin for J.K. Dobbins and Caleb Williams. So Rat picks up a running back that he desperately needed for the long-term play of Godwin. And swaps Love for Williams. They're just backup quarterbacks for Rat's team. I like this move for Rat because it fits his need of running back that he needs, and he gets a solid one with JK. Obviously, you need JK to stay healthy, but right now he's looking good. And I mean, yeah, Godwin could be something when he comes back, but the way Ibuka's playing, and it's either going to hurt Godwin because Ibuka's playing so well, or when he comes in, it's kind of just going to split them all, and they're not going to be as good. So I think it was a decent trade for both sides. Obviously, Zombie was in the position where he could lose J.K. Dobbins to get the upside play down the line of Godwin at wide receiver. Rat, your comments on this trade?
I think with my team how it was shaped, with Freese and Pacheco, how they were looking, I think Dobbins is more of a safer guy to give me that 10 to 12 points a week, not give me like 3, 5 a week. And like you said, Godwin could have upside down the road, but there will be, I think the offense of the Bucs now, once Godwin does get back, there's a lot of mouths to feed, and Baker looked like he was running a little more, so it's going to be a questionable how that Bucs offense ran, especially with the 3-headed wide receivers now. that they're going to have. And Dobbins looks good so far. And even if Harvey comes to the mix, he still can provide a good amount of points. Like split backfield, even a better split backfield than the Chiefs and the Giants.
All right. Sounds good. All right, and then moving on to the second trade that was made yesterday after an intense trade party last night. A three-way was done between me,
3-hour trade party
and
for
Zombie.
one trade.
Zombie requires Keon Coleman, who had a big week in week 1 and then kind of came back down to earth in week 2. And Tootin, the running back for Jacksonville, who had a decent game, but he is kind of, I guess you could say, the B to Travis Etienne being the A. But obviously a guy for upside as well. He gives up Zach Ertz, his big spender Hollywood Brown, and Jordan Love, who he acquired. Kroenke gets Justin Fields from me and gives up Tootin to Zombie. And I acquire Ertz, Hollywood Brown, and Jordan Love and give up Fields, so swapping my backup quarterback, and Coleman. Obviously, this trade kind of has a need for everybody. Zombie's getting more of the upside players with Coleman and Tootin and kind of giving up his bench some of his bench players. I needed a tight end just in case Ingram continues to be shit, and Ertz has had a decent start to the year with Washington. Downgrade maybe a little bit at wide receiver with Hollywood Brown from Coleman because, with Worthy coming back, Hollywood Brown probably won't be as good as Coleman could be moving forward. And then Love for Fields is kind of just whatever because they're my backup quarterbacks, although this week Love might make a play. Love's been solid so far this season, so... on Kroenke's side, he had his choice of quarterback. He could have had either Loves or Fields, or at one point could have maybe had both, and he wants Justin Fields. So he gets Fields for Tootin. You could sense through the whole 2-hour trade party last night that Kroenke was trying to get a quarterback for as cheap as possible, and I think he successfully did that, getting Fields for Tootin, really not having to give up too much to get a quarterback, although Fields is not playing this week, as we already mentioned. So it doesn't help him this week, but maybe in the future it will. Overall, kind of just a mediocre trade. Not really any huge names, but players kind of fitting needs for all the teams. I don't think it's too crazy anyway. I guess the only way it's a really bad trade for me is if Coleman pops off like he did in week 1 and more consistently moving forward, then maybe Zombie gets some star wide receiver, but we'll see. Anybody want to make any comments? Kroenke, you get a quarterback that you need moving forward since Burrow's now out?
Yep, I want to put it behind us. I got what I wanted, and Golfer's going to let it be known that I got what I wanted all season.
Yeah, I mean, you did get what you wanted. Trade. You didn't want to give up anything more for a quarterback, so you successfully did that after 2 hours.
It'll be hopefully a good trade for me.
Okay. All right, so there we have the trades for this week. Now let's look ahead here to the all-important week number 3. Obviously, big-time matchups, especially for the teams that are 0-2. They don't want to start 0-3, including myself. My matchup with Bill in week number 3. Bill at 1-1 after his loss last week, only had 98 points. Coming in, my team 0-2 is yet to put up over 100 points. So hopefully Bill puts up another 90-some pointer and I put up over 100 and get a win this week. But it will be tough, especially the way my team is playing. Right now, Sleeper has it somewhat close, 123 to 120. Obviously, projections, as people have mentioned, sometimes are a little wacky. I have Jordan Love getting the start this week over Bo as he's facing Cleveland. Cleveland's defense is sneaky with the pass rush, but Bo is also playing the Chargers, who completely shut down the Raiders' offense this past week and picked off Geno 3 times. Bo has been a little wild so far this year, so I kind of am going with the safer play in this one with Love. Still undecided, though. That could be switched. Genty against Washington. Obviously, Genty's gotten off to just an okay start. Had a touchdown week 1, but then no touchdown week 2. He's going to need to get a touchdown. Hopefully, it's a Bill versus Genty game, and both running backs pop off. Swift against Dallas. Swift had a better game in week 2 compared to week 1. Got a touchdown. Dallas coming off a game where they just gave up 37 points. Hopefully, it's a similar type of shootout game between Dallas and Cleveland, or Dallas and Chicago. Hopefully, Caleb Williams and Dak go off and Swift gets some catches. Brian Thomas Jr. against Houston had a full practice today, so the hand issues are kind of minute. It's more just a matter of can he shut all the haters up right now and go out and have a huge game this week to show that he's not scared of getting hit and that his wrist is fine. Hopefully, I'm going to need that from him. Marvin Harrison against the 49ers. 49ers defense has looked pretty solid this year. Hopefully Harrison can get some more targets, as he had a great week in week 1 with like 18 points, but then came back to earth last week and barely got any targets. So hopefully we get the week 1 Marvin Harrison. Ertz against the Raiders in there. Mike Evans against the Jets. Pickens against Chicago. So like I said, hopefully that Chicago-Dallas game is a shootout type game. And Bucker against the Giants on Sunday night. I don't have any Monday night players, all Sunday players. On Bill's side, he has Kyler Murray against those 49ers. So hopefully if Kyler's throwing to Harrison, it's a lot, and negating some of that. We'll see. He could also start Herbert against Denver. Tough defense, though, so he's probably going to roll with Kyler. That's probably the right play. Gibbs on Monday night against Baltimore, and then Derrick Henry on Monday night against Detroit. So that is scary. Hopefully I have a good sizable lead going into Monday night, or those two running backs could run all over me and I could get fucked. I'm sure that's what Bill's hoping for. Calvin Ridley in there against the Colts. Obviously, the Colts have looked pretty good this season, and Calvin Ridley's looked like dog shit. McMillan against Atlanta. He has the Cleveland tight end. What did he do in week 2? 9.8, not bad. Better than Njoku again. So against Green Bay, though, Green Bay's looked very good on defense, so hopefully they just completely shut down the Browns' offense. Ibuka against the Jets. Ibuka's been off to a red-hot start. He's got to cool down at some point. Surely he doesn't get a touchdown this week after having 3 through his first 2 games. That's my only hope there. I hope to God Mike Evans outscores him. I'm going to need that. If Ibuka outscores Evans, I'm probably fucked. And then Jerry Jeudy as well against the Packers. So Bill has a couple Browns guys against that Packer defense. And then Sly we picked up against the Colts. Obviously, I'm very worried about both his running backs on Monday night. That game could turn into like a ground fest, especially Henry after his bad week last week. He's going to want to pop off on Monday night. Gibbs is always scary through the air, so that worries me a lot. I'm going to need my team to put up a good amount of points to get a strong lead going into Monday night. Obviously, I'm going to pick myself. I'm not to the point where I've given up hope yet. But if we lose this one, as I said, that panic nuke button, the case will be flipped up going into week 4. So it's going to be tough. But I'm going to pick myself in a close matchup that's going to come right down to Monday night, and I'm going to eke it out somehow. Rat, who's winning this matchup?
This is tough. I think obviously the running back battle is going to be really hard.
Yep.
I do think Brian Thomas bounces back. You having Harrison and him having Murray helps you, because I do think they'll start clicking. Like, I don't think people are already giving up on Harrison, but I don't think there's no rush to yet. And this weekend, I think we will see a Mike Evans out dual Ibuka game.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's time for Mike Evans to have himself a game this year.
Okay.
And yeah, I think it's going to be a narrow victory.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, it will definitely come down to Monday night. Heartbreaker for you, but I see you edging out by 1 or 2 points.
Okay.
One or two.
I will say I do think I have the advantage at wide receiver. It's just a matter of do my wide receivers perform and outscore him.
I think we're going to be sitting there Monday night like we were last Monday, and it's going to be coming down to the very end.
Yep. And the problem is he's got both running backs, so the whole time, all freaking 60 minutes of that game, I'm going to be sweating the whole 60 minutes, because no matter who's on the field, he's going to have one of the 2 players.
This isn't an easy sneak out win, but you sneak out with it.
All right. All right. Kroenke, who's winning this match?
I think this will be the lowest scoring matchup of the week.
Okay.
But I think Golfer's going to edge it out. I think it'll be like 108 to 106.
People stop picking me? You guys keep picking me the first 2 weeks. My team is ass.
Don't worry, Golfer. Don't worry.
Thank you.
108 to 104.
All right. Well, I'll take that. That's more than I've scored the first 2 weeks. Baby steps. All right. Zach.
Yep, Golfer, you are going to be 0-3, unfortunately, but it won't come down to Monday night. I think Henry only gets a couple points, like maybe less than 10. Okay. Oh, which, by the way, breaking news, I will be there live to see my Lemar win the game for me.
Oh, wow.
All right. That's a great game to go to. Lions and Baltimore on Monday night. All right. Moving on then to the next matchup. We have Rat coming off his close, tight win in week number 2 at 1-1 versus Ernie at 1-1 after his high-scoring loss to Zach. So a big battle here of 2 guys. Rat already threw out the the olive branch goody 2-shoes message to Ernie the other day. Don't think I didn't see that message of good luck this week, Ernie. We got good teams. Great. Good luck this week.
Sports.
And you notice Ernie didn't even respond to that. I don't believe.
Look at his team name.
Stuck in each other's dick. That's all that is.
It's a very respectful matchup.
Yeah. That's
maybe you stop being a bad commissioner and worry
I sure hope that this matchup comes very close and then we get the knives out. Stab each other in the back. None of that goody 2-shoes shit. And anyways, right now Sleeper has Rat projected to beat Ernie 126 to 121. Rat has Baker Mayfield against the Jets. Pretty good matchup there, as the Jets defense does not look good. And Baker, as long as he's good to go, will be airing it out. That's where you fucked up, Rat. Instead of saying that Jalen Hurts is going to air it out, you should be saying Baker Mayfield.
Well, I know Baker's
that's a quarterback that actually throws the ball down.
I know Baker's going to air it out. That's the problem.
Would you switch Baker if the Eagles could trade straight up Jalen Hurts for Baker Mayfield right now? Would you do it?
No.
Really? Wow, you wouldn't. Okay. Wow, that's a hot take. Why? Just because he can't do the tush push? I'm sure he could do the tush push. He could. I guarantee you, Baker Mayfield could do the tush push with that Eagles offensive line. How they do that? I guarantee
think it's more Hurts than.
I don't think so. It's your offensive line and your guys pushing him behind. Yeah, he needs strong legs to push, but Baker
Hurts is one of the best QB sneakers in the league.
Okay.
He could do it.
Baker's mobile. He could
bend the tush push, and Hurts will just pick it up anyways.
Okay.
I hope they bend the tush push because it's just gonna show how Hurts easily can do it by himself.
Okay. All right. Kamara against Seattle in Seattle. He's been okay so far this season. Seattle coming off a good game last week against Pittsburgh. J.K. all day newly acquired against the Chargers. Chargers, formidable defense so far this year, so we'll see. That's a big game between Denver and the Chargers. We'll see if he gets some run success against that Chargers front. Going to be tough. CeeDee Lamb against Chicago. I've already made my comments on that Dallas-Chicago game. Hopefully it's similar to last week's game with Dallas and the Giants. Nico Collins against Jacksonville. Big divisional game for those two teams, Houston and Jacksonville, especially with Houston starting 0-2. I expect Nico to put up a decent game and show out and try to get the win for Houston. Cade Otton in there against the Jets. Who's your normal tight end? Njoku. And you got Likely. Okay. Yeah, you're kind of a little rough at tight end too. All right, so interesting play there. Hoping for the Baker to Cade magic. Yep. So far, he hasn't done shit compared to last year. 0 and 5.5. So
to this weekend to start.
I don't know. I think with Ibuka in there, Otton's not getting any looks. Xavier Worthy, who should be back on Sunday night against the Giants. I don't understand how Chiefs-Giants is the Sunday night football game, but should be back in there. Should look pretty good against the Giants, whose defense is horrible. Devontae Smith against the Rams. Rams are a affordable team this year. 2-0. Defense playing pretty solid, and we all know Hurts. I'm gonna make a prediction. I think they're gonna need to throw some in this game if they want to win this game.
Hopefully.
So maybe that's Smith. I don't know. We'll see. And Boswell against New England. On Ernie's side, sticking with Drake May against Pittsburgh. Drake May had a great game last week, and now he faces Pittsburgh, who's given up a lot of points so far this season in 2 games, so good matchup there. Obviously, Rat's boy, Saquon Barkley. No wonder Rat's hoping that the Eagles throw it more this week, because he's facing Barkley. Obviously, Barkley shit all over the Rams in that playoff game last year.
And the regular season game.
Yeah, so you got to worry about that. Ernie has a Monday night player, David Montgomery against Baltimore. I will be rooting for David Montgomery to get all the points instead of Gibbs. A.J. Brown, so it's the Smith versus Brown show. So far, even though Smith has been shit, he's done better than A.J. Brown. T. Higgins against Minnesota. Obviously, as we talked about, we'll see how Jake Browning now at the helm affects Higgins. That could help Rat if he doesn't get as many targets and the offense doesn't look as good. Kyle Pitts against Carolina. Decent matchup there. Garrett Wilson looking for a bounce back against Tampa Bay. Quentin Johnson against Denver. I don't love that matchup for him this week. I think he comes back to earth finally with Denver's secondary. And then Aubrey, obviously, against Chicago. That could be good. We know Ernie doesn't have many bench options. He just got his $20 man, Thornton. I don't know, either him or I guess the other Thornton. He loves Thornton, and then Thornton for the Raiders. I guess you kind of have to start Quentin Johnson because you really don't have any other options right now, but that's kind of a tough matchup. I am going to predict that Rat wins this matchup. I think his quarterback will do better. I do think Ernie has the edge at running back, obviously, but I think CD and Nico have good games. I think Xavier Worthy and Smith do okay. I'm not sure about Quentin Johnson, not sure about T. Higgins, and not sure about A.J. Brown. I don't see them doing too much, and I think that's going to be the difference. And Rat gets about a 10 to 15 point victory. And I think he's going to be up by about 30 with David Montgomery on Monday night, and I think he, is up comfortably enough to win. Zach, who's winning this matchup?
This will be a landslide.
Okay. I think I know who.
We know who. I'll just tell everybody myself that
I'm not just saying this will be a landslide because it's Ernie. I think everyone fake Rat plays will be a landslide this year. So Ernie will be winning this week. GG.
Surprise.
All right. Cronky.
I will say the same thing next week.
Who's playing?
Rat and Ernie.
I'm going to take Rat.
Thanks.
And I would say that I'm trying to think what the score line will be. Give me 2 seconds here.
Okay. 1, 2.
I think he's going to get his ass beat, Ernie.
Oh, okay. So you think Ernie's team comes down to earth after 2 good weeks? He's had 2 decent scoring weeks the first week. Actually, the first week he kind of squeaked out a win, lower scoring. But last week he scored the 3rd most points.
So everyone's picked fake Rat so far except for me?
Yep.
Well, for jinx purposes, I would like to change my answer. I do believe fake Rat will win.
Okay. All right. Nice jinx there to try to help Ernie. Rat, are you getting this win over your good friend Ernie? Nothing but good vibes. Although you do realize if this matchup is close going into Monday night, those good vibes normally will go out the window with Ernie. However, Ernie doesn't talk much anymore, especially on Monday night, so maybe you won't hear.
That was uncalled for.
It's going to be a close game.
Zach, you know what? No. I want.
Shut up, Pusa. Shut the hell up, buddy. You're 0-3. Shut the hell up. Your team is ass.
1 minute.
You're going to be in last place. You're going to be doing the hot chip challenge, buddy.
Go ahead,
Cronky. You suck. You suck.
Zach, you need to
Shut
stop
up, Pusa,
this
you fucking midget.
He's fucking terrible. He hasn't answered the phone. He's not doing anything for this league.
Pusa, you're terrible. You have the worst team in the league other than Golfer.
All right, Cronky,
still here.
I do think that's a little extreme. He hasn't done nothing for the league. He does still comment once in a while, and he was in the show last week.
Golfer, he's the least active in the league.
The only thing I will say is I'm surprised he hasn't been in the parties at all for like the Sunday Red Zone watching, which he still has not really give a reason.
People
for
golf
why.
on Sundays, golfer.
Yeah, for the first half of the day, not for the whole
He's
day.
on the West Coast.
He's out there on the golf course.
Not for the whole day.
I'd love to see that golf.
Like,
I'd like to see that golf
Is he
swing.
work? Does he work on Sundays now?
4 p.m.
that's
his
the only
time
thing I
is
can
7
think of.
p.m. our time. You don't get back until 4 p.m. from golfing anyway.
That's the only thing I can think of is he works now on Sundays. I don't know why he just went.
He's golfing.
Well, no, Zach says he's on the golf course. I'll pay good money to see that golf swing. I'll pay good money to see that.
Okay. All right. Rat, we'll go back to what you were saying. You think you're gonna pull out this win?
I'm gonna pull it out by 10 to 15, but it's gonna be a hard fought battle. And remember when I say this, write this down, put it for next week's show.
Mm-hmm.
The wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2 this week will be CeeDee Lamb and Nico Collins.
Okay.
Write it down.
I thought you were gonna say the wide receiver 1 and 2 are gonna be AJ Brown and Devontae Smith.
Oh, it could be. It could
That's
be so.
just delusion.
But write that down. Remember that.
We don't need to write it down because it's on recording.
Remember the time.
Okay.
When I said this.
All right. So far, I think you're like 0 for 2 on your prediction, your bold predictions this year.
You want me to make another prediction?
No, that's your prediction. That's bold enough.
No, I can make 2.
No, you just save it for next week.
Whoa.
All right. Moving on, we're going to save this matchup for last. Moving on to the next one, we have Cheese versus Anth. So a battle of 2-0 Anth after his strong start to the season versus Cheese after his loss last week. Sleeper has this one very close, 128 to 127. So very close matchup. Cheese has Josh Allen on Thursday night against Miami. Now, the only problem with that is could this be another type of game script like last week when they faced the Jets where, the Jets are horrible, Miami's horrible? Does James Cook just run all over them early on? They get a huge lead, and then Josh Allen kind of just doesn't get very much. That is a possibility that she's had to worry. I think if I'm Cheese, I'm hoping Miami brings something to this game. That way Allen has to, at least get his points early on in the game. McCaffrey against Arizona. Tyler Algier in there against Carolina. They have been using him more than I thought they would, and he did get a goal line, a touchdown run last week to make it worth, but I just don't know how you can have any confidence in him getting. He needs a touchdown basically to be decent. I mean, he had 2.4 points. He's playing 25% of the snaps. The only way he gets points is getting a touchdown, which I don't think he's going to get 2 weeks in a row. Ladd McConkey, obviously against Denver. Tough matchup for McConkey against that secondary. Although I do see this as this could maybe be a game where Ladd, kind of breaks out, gets a touchdown. Denver did give up some points to the Colts last week. So maybe, all the eyes are on Keenan Allen and Quentin Johnson because of his touchdowns he's gotten. Maybe this is the week McConkey is the biggest scorer out of the Chargers receivers. Sutton obviously looking for a bounce back against that tough Chargers defense. I don't know if this game's going to be very high scoring. That's the only thing that could hurt Cheese with having both those receivers. Tucker Kraft against Cleveland. Obviously a huge game last week. We'll see what he does this week. Cleveland's defense is okay. Myers against Washington. A lot of us have given shit to Cheese about Jacoby Myers, but he's put up solid numbers so far for a flex wide receiver. Now, we did give him shit when he was his wide receiver 2 before he made the trade for McConkey. But as a flex, Myers has been good so far this year. And then Booty against Pittsburgh. Good matchup. See if he can get the targets this week. He got that touchdown catch early on last week and then did nothing. He only had 1 target, that touchdown. So we'll see if he can get more volume in this week. And then Dicker against Denver as well. On Ant's side, Patrick Mahomes on Sunday night against the Giants. Great matchup there for Mahomes to put up another 20-plus point performance, you would think. James Cook on Thursday night, so they both have a Thursday night player. Man, this is big. As I was just mentioning about Josh Allen, James Cook got him out to that huge lead last week and took away, Allen's points. Can that repeat itself for Anth If it does, then that's a big bonus for Anth, because then Allen probably gets around 11 or 12, and Cook gets all the points. We'll see. Breece Hall against Tampa Bay. No Fields this week. Maybe they run the ball or try
Somebody
to.
invite Zombie.
No more.
All right.
Malik Neighbors on Sunday night as well against the Chiefs. So he's got 2 Sunday night players and the Thursday player. Drake London looking for a bounce back against Carolina. I think he gets it this week. I think this is a Drake London breakout week against those Panthers. He's done kind of mediocre so far. I think he gets in the end zone against a huge week. Jawan Johnson against Seattle. Been a solid tight end for the Saints. Kind of the one bright spot besides Olave for the Saints and Kamara. Hello, Zombie. We have, let me see, did we go over your matchup yet? No, we haven't. Other than that, let's see who did I miss. Etienne against Houston, Pittman against Tennessee, and McPherson against Minnesota. This is a tough call. I actually agree with Sleeper on how close they have this projected. I think that Ant's wide receivers are going to be the difference in this matchup. I think Neighbors and London are going to have big games this week. I think Sutton's kind of just going to do okay, and I think McConkey will do okay, but nowhere near them two. I like their matchups a lot better than Cheese's wide receiver matchups. So I'm going to pick Anth to go 3-0 and start the season 3-0, and God help the rest of the league. We need Anth to start losing to humble him a little bit, but I don't think it happens this week. Rat, who's winning?
The newcomer is going 3-0, and it's going to be a landslide.
A landslide? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm surprised. I know Jawan Johnson's been good, but I wouldn't give up on Laporta just yet, especially on a Monday night game and a big game.
Yeah, I forgot. He does have Laporta on the bench.
I mean, I still think he wins, but I think Laporta's
especially because Baltimore did give up quite a bit of points to Kincaid 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. I do think Laporta should be that.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is I don't know, Cheese's team just doesn't. It's back to like the draft deck where it just doesn't excite me. Like I really thought Derrick Henry's fine and all that. This like Tyler Algier, and
I mean he doesn't really have any other options. He can't start RJ Harvey. He can't start Samson this week because of Green Bay.
Like his team name is perfect. It's just Cheese took one step. It's what we always said. This slaps. He took one step ahead and then 2 steps backwards, and that's what Cheese did.
Yeah.
And his bench got worse. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what Cheese did. I don't know what he did.
All right.
He fucked up.
I would somewhat agree, and I think he even agrees with that last trade, based off what he said yesterday. Cronky, who's winning this matchup?
God help us.
Okay. Does that mean you're picking Anth?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
I have a hard time swallowing this.
Okay. Wow. All right. Zach.
This is a Cheese game. Cheese, welcome back. You're officially back in the league.
All right, so you're picking Cheese.
Back in the game. Yeah, picking Cheese. Okay. I think this is his turnaround week.
Okay, interesting. Difference of opinion there. Zombie, before you predict this matchup, did you want to make any comments after your ass raping against me last week? I'm sure you're pleased with how your team's looking right now.
I just want to hear you say the words, thank you. Wow. Thank you for not starting Odunze, because this would have been an even bigger rape.
All right. Well, thank you for being a bad manager and loving Travis Hunter so much and being blinded by that hype to not start Odunze. Thank you, Zombie.
My team is back, and yeah, this week we will cook slaps.
Okay. All right, we'll get to that in a minute. Who are you picking between Cheese and Anth?
Oh God. I mean, Cheese, his team is just ass. And Anth, I feel like Anth has been overperforming a little bit.
Oh, okay. So you're not
But
calling it
because
ass, but you're saying it's overperforming. Okay.
yeah, but because Cheese has no one on his team, he gave away Henry for free. He will be losing
All
this
right, not
matchup.
for free. You got Lad McConkey back, who's been kind of okay so far, but not as
He
good.
will be losing this.
Okay. All right. Moving on then to the next matchup. This is a big one for Pook. 0-2 Pook versus Tyler at 1-1, who picked up a big win last week to get his first of the year. Pook trying to do the same this week against Tyler. Right now, Sleeper projecting Tyler to pull this out 133 to 125, so kind of high scoring for this matchup, according to Sleeper. Pook has Dak Prescott after his nice week last week against Chicago, now this week. Excuse me. As I already said before, I think that Cowboys-Bears game has potential to be similar to last week's game, so hopefully that happens for Pook's sake with Prescott. Henderson against Pittsburgh this week. I do think there's potential for him this week to bounce back after his bad week 2, as Pittsburgh's defense has not really been stopping anyone. Chuba Hubbard against Atlanta. Had a good week last week. Jefferson against Cincinnati. Be interesting to see how Jefferson does now with the quarterback change, with Carson Wentz now in there. J.J. McCarthy obviously was doing horrible, so we'll see what happens with Wentz. I don't know what to expect from that.
Can I say something?
Yes.
I have it on good authority from my sources.
Okay.
That Pook believes Jefferson is wide receiver 1 now with Carson Wentz.
Oh, so he's very high on the quarterback change. Okay. Do we think at all maybe that's just a little bit of
Are we
Eagles
talking about
bias?
Pook's matchup?
Yeah, we're talking about Jefferson. Zombie just broke news that he has a source saying that Pook is very high on Jefferson and thinks he's now wide receiver.
The source
1.
is Pook.
Oh, so Pook
crazy.
told you himself. Okay.
It's like Pook saying Dak Prescott's quarterback 1.
Okay. That could be a little bit of Eagles bias, as Wentz, was that former guy.
Already pick?
No, we haven't picked yet. We're going over the
matchup.
DK Metcalf against New England. The bigger thing that Pook should be talking about is Brock Bowers. Is he going to get back to being a wide receiver status type of numbers like he did last year? Because so far this year it has not been worth the draft pick that he took him in. Against Washington this week, he does look a little banged up. Pook once again has the Tennessee wide receiver in there, this time against the Colts. Last week he had him in there and then changed, so we'll see if he keeps him this time. And then he's also got Cam Scatabo in there on Sunday night against the Chiefs. Got a touchdown last week, so maybe he's starting to be used more in the offense. We'll see. Risky kind of start there, but I mean he does have Shakir, who hasn't really done shit this year so far, although it is Miami that they're facing on Thursday night. So doesn't want to go, I guess, with him. So interesting. We'll see if he keeps both those flexes in there. And then he's got the Colts here. Kroenke, were you laughing there?
Nope, I'm fine.
Okay, thought I heard you laughing.
Nope.
On Tyler's side, Tyler has Jaden Daniels, assuming he's good to go against the Raiders. Could be decent. Bucky Irving against the Jets. I think a big game for Bucky is a possibility this week. Kenneth Walker against the Saints also could be very good. Puka Nacua against Philly. Tough matchup against Philly, but Nacua seems to be unstoppable so far this year. DJ Moore against Dallas. Could be decent week for DJ Moore based off the matchup, as the fucking Cowboys couldn't stop anyone last week. Kelsey on Sunday night against the Giants, so they both have a Sunday night player. Keenan Allen against Denver, so he's rolling with Allen this week instead of Aaron Jones, obviously on IR, but he also had Jawan Jennings against Arizona. It'll be interesting to see if he starts Keenan against that Denver defense or goes with someone else like Jennings or Robinson. Does have a couple options. Lave against Seattle, and then the Arizona kicker against the 49ers. Man, this is a close one. I think tough to call. I do not know totally about Pook's flexes for this week. I don't know if it's yet Scatabo time totally. I mean, he's really going to need Jefferson to be like he was telling to Zombie to win this one. I just don't know. The unknown. I'm going to take more of the known thing, which is Tyler's team at the moment. I'm going to say he gets the win with his running backs having some big performances. I like both their matchups. I also like DJ Moore to have a pretty good week. So I'm going to say Tyler gets it done. I think it'll be a close, about 10-point difference. But unfortunately, I think Pook falls to the 0-3 stat line. But I do think it'll be close.
No.
Rat. Who's winning this?
Well. When is the last time Pook started 0-3?
I don't think ever.
I think it's time to hit the drawing board for next year's draft because Pook season's over after this week.
Wow. Oh my God. This early?
This team's a pile of trash. Holy shit.
Oh boy. Okay.
Justin Jefferson, wide receiver 1 with Carson Wentz. Are we kidding me? Did I watch
it does sound crazy.
That he watched?
Yeah, it does sound crazy.
He's still starting a third string running back, which is even more crazier.
Okay.
Scatabo, I mean, he got his touchdowns, but I don't know. It's the Giants, and they're bound to fuck up one of these weeks. I think
Casey's defense is decent.
I wouldn't say Puka Nacua is a hard matchup. I think Eagles have been questionably. They're good defensively, but Puka is going to be hard to contain.
I mean, Puka's going to get his points even against a tough defense. He can still get his catches.
And I think Kenneth Walker is in for a very big week against the Saints. And I think Tyler's going to kill him by 42.
Oh, 42. Wow. Okay. That would really cause
Pook's team is trash.
Okay. All right. Strong comments there. You love it. All right. Zach.
Who's playing?
Pook and Tyler.
Ooh. This is going to be a hard-fought matchup.
Okay, so not a 42.
I do believe Pook stays winless, though.
Okay. Interesting. Kroenke.
Whoa. I didn't say Tyler would win, though.
Okay, so we're saying a tie.
Okay.
We will have a hard-fought tie in this one.
Okay.
Good luck.
All right, interesting. Kroenke?
I am going to pick my friend Oakley. He's going to not get moved 0-3. He'll be fine. He's going to win this week, whether he makes the playoffs or that's another story, but I think he'll be fine this week.
Okay. And Zombie?
Wait, so both these teams are 0-2?
No, Tyler's 1-1. He beat Bill last week.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say the loser of this match, according to the fantasy stats, has probably a
what's the percentage if you start
chance
0-3?
of making a little.
If 0-2 is 31%, what's the percentage if you start 0-3?
Probably.
I'm sure we'll get that tweet next week.
5%. I am gonna go with the guy who isn't delusional about Justin Jefferson.
Okay.
And that is Tyler.
Wow. All right. So a clean sweep for Tyler, except for Zach, who picked a tie. All right. Moving on then to the next matchup, we have Slaps at 2-0. High as can be about his team right now, as he's 2-0. All things are good in the world, versus Zombie, who had a huge week last week, coming in at 1-1, looking to end Slaps' good fortune and get some panic going for Slaps. So big matchup here right now. Sleeper has us dead even in high scoring, 140 to 140. So dead even with huge scores here. Slaps has Jalen Hurts against the Rams. We've talked about that matchup. Obviously, running back playing quarterback against the Rams. They ran all over him last year in all their games.
What are you trying to
Be
say?
similar this year. What do you mean? I'm saying
Philly
running back
fag.
playing quarterback. He throws for less than 100 yards.
Trash.
Josh Jacobs against Cleveland. Cleveland's front is decent, but Jacobs has had a good year so far, and the Green Bay this year looks very Eagles-esque from last year. They have a good offensive line, good lines, good running game, and their quarterback's playing well. And obviously they got the pass rush. Chase Brown against Minnesota. Going to be a big game here. If Slaps wants to win this matchup, he needs Chase Brown to do better than he's done the first 2 weeks. With Jake Browning in there now, we'll see how many receptions he gets. We'll see if they still call a lot of that type of stuff for Chase Brown. He is not going to get a lot of points this season just from running alone because that Bengals offensive line is atrocious. So he needs to get that receiving type of work. That's what makes Chase Brown such a upside type of hot pick this season. Was we thought with Burrow that the offense he's going to get a lot of passing opportunities, and with Browning now in there, we'll see how that works. Tyreek Hill to get him started tomorrow night against Buffalo. Big game for Tyreek Hill in week 2, over 100 yards finally. See if he can back that up with another good game against Buffalo. If Miami wants any chance of winning this game, they're going to need to involve Tyreek Hill. Fat Diarrhea, Debo against the Raiders. Another decent matchup there for Debo. We'll see if it's finally Scary Terry's week for Zach, or if Fat Diarrhea just continues to put up high points. Trey McBride against the 49ers. Kyren Williams against Philly. Philly's defense obviously decent and good line. However, Juggernaut Gervonta did get a couple touchdowns against him in week 1, so maybe Kyren, who didn't get in the end zone this past week, can get in. Cooper Kupp, after his strong game, now gets the Saints, so pretty good matchup there. And then the new Justin Tucker on Monday night against Detroit. So he does have a Monday night player. On Zombie's side, he has obviously a couple of huge Monday night players. Jared Goff against Baltimore and Amon-Ra St. Brown against Baltimore. That duo last week almost combined for most of my score. So we'll see what they do this week against a tougher opponent in Baltimore. But as we've seen in week 1 against the Bills, they can give up points to a good offense. I don't know, though, if Jared Goff and the St. Brown are as good of an offense as the Bills. So we'll see if they can put up still a decent game or if they go back to the week 1 type of offense. Achane, so a big player tomorrow night as well. So Hill versus Achane. So far, Achane has been getting more receptions than Tyreek Hill this season. We'll see if that continues this week. You got to think if they want to win the game, they're going to try to get Achane and Hill involved early and often. Hampton against Denver. He's been kind of the one bad part of Zombie's team so far. He has not looked very involved, with only 8.1 and 3.5 points. Also fumbled this past week, and now he faces Denver's defense. Not great there. Zay Flowers on Monday night. So, God, Zombie has 3 huge Monday night players. So this matchup's definitely coming down to Monday night, most likely, against Detroit. Tyler Warren against Tennessee. He's been pretty good so far in his rookie season. Obviously, with Danny Dimes playing well, he's put up the numbers. Juggernaut Gervonta against Chicago. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets into the end zone once again this week. And then Odunze against Dallas. So good matchups there in some games that could be high scoring for Zombie. I do agree with Zombie. I think he knocks Slaps off this week. I like his matchups. I don't think Goff and St. Brown come close to what they did last week, but I still think Goff can get 20 plus. I think St. Brown could get close to 20. And I love his Achane and his Juggernaut Williams and Rome Odunze in that Chicago-Dallas game. So I think Zombie has another very strong week. I think he could put up 140, 150 again this week. And I like Zombie's team and where it's at right now. Slaps' team, I think, will put up a good score, but I don't think he'll come close. I think Zombie gets that win on Monday night. Rat, who's winning this matchup?
Can't believe I'm saying this, but Zombie's pulling it out. It is time to ride the Slaps panic train because Tyreek Hill is going back down. He might have one catch tomorrow.
Okay.
And diarrhea day. Sunday. Debo will be back to diarrhea.
Really? Okay. So you're predicting something
Very
It's
much
gonna be a Terry day.
It is a Terry day that day.
Okay.
Yeah,
So-
Zombie's team is respectable right
Yeah,
now.
looking good. So if Zombie scores like 140 or 150 and Slaps loses, you really think he's gonna blow it up when he just ran into a buzzsaw team this week?
Yes, because it slaps.
Okay. That is true.
We'll see though. I mean, I don't know.
Okay.
We'll see. But
All
yeah,
right.
sadly, Zombie.
All right. Zach? Slaps and Zombie.
Oh yeah, Zombie's got this one.
Okay.
This is where
I noticed
Slaps...
a theme. You picked both 2-0 teams to lose this week besides yourself.
Whoa, well, we haven't even picked me yet.
Yeah, well, we know who you're taking.
No. You know, I just don't think Slaps has that strong of a team.
Okay.
This is where the panic begins to set in for him after this loss.
Okay.
I also don't think Zombie has that good of a team. I just think Slaps is worse.
Can I ask you a question? Is there anybody's team you think is good besides you and Ernie?
Whoa, I didn't say I thought my team was good.
Okay.
Let me take a look at our league real quick. I do think there are a couple good teams. Let me see.
Not me, so get me out of the way.
I mean,
Tyler.
Okay, you think Tyler's team?
Cheese.
Okay, interesting.
What the fuck?
Wow, you're giving Cheese a compliment again. Wow.
And then Zombies on the fringe of being good.
Oh, okay. All right. Cronky, who's winning this matchup? You picked Anth earlier. Are you gonna pick Slaps as well?
Let me have a think here.
Don't think too hard. You'll hurt yourself.
No, I'm just fish off. Fish off. I'm having a
See, he starts thinking and he gets angry.
I'm having a think.
Okay, well, you had the whole time I was going
You're
over the
taking
matchup
a
to think.
piss.
Can you pick?
No,
Think
fish
faster.
off. Fish off.
Buddy, we're getting late. Just make a pick.
I think this is his way of saying slaps because he's saying pitch off.
Yeah.
Slaps will be put into the grave this week. He will have
Okay, he's
multiple
2-0.
injuries.
If he loses, he's 2-1. He's not in the
He
grave.
will have
All it takes is one
multiple
loss for slaps. to
injuries.
go green.
Oh,
He will
okay.
have multiple injuries,
Oh, boy.
and his team will be unrecognizable next week when he goes on a trade parade. I'm talking 5+ trades
Okay. All right.
on Tuesday.
All right. All right. Interesting. So you're taking Zombie then. All right. Zombie, I know you came in earlier with some hot statements right out of the get-go, so I'm pretty sure you're taking yourself to end Slaps' little run right here.
I just want to take a moment and tell Slaps directly if he listens to this.
Okay.
Not only am I going to win, this is going to send him into depression.
Oh, boy.
This will send him down a dark path where he will not know what to do except trade away his players.
Wow.
Oh boy.
So he's going to darkness
He-
like Book? Okay.
He is going into the darkness because he can't stand that he did not change the way we draft.
Okay. Fair enough. All right.
But yeah, this will be
All right.
Newcastle, Liverpool.
Oh, okay. I mean, Newcastle Liverpool was pretty close, even with Newcastle.
Yeah,
having a red card.
Rio scored, 90 plus 11, 16
Yeah, I mean,
years
it
old.
came down to that. Newcastle almost had a result with down to 2.
Almost.
Well, it will come down to Monday night.
Horseshoes and hand grenades. Almost.
My Lions boys will pull it out.
Cronky, what are you talking about horseshoes and hand grenades? Your Liverpool has been horseshoes and hand grenades. You get lucky in the extra time every fucking game. Like,
And we have
Okay,
never-
golfer, it's called heart.
hey, that's not sustainable. You might want to start winning some games earlier than that. Anyways.
Worry about your time.
All right, Zombie, so now that you got Odunze in there, are you going to be scoring more than last week?
Not as bad as Arsenal, though, golfer. You're taught and shit.
we will be scoring the same amount.
Oh, so another 160. Okay.
Yes.
All right. All right, and then finally, we saved the best for last in week 3. Obviously, the matchup with the Jackson 5 of Zach at 2-0 versus the Cronky Hater of Pusa at 0-2. The only matchup this week of a undefeated 2-0 team versus a winless team of 0-2. So obviously that raises the stakes here in week 3. And then if the stakes couldn't be raised even higher, we have a $100 side bet on this week 3 made between Zach and Cronky. I will give Cronky some credit. He has some balls. He made that side bet knowing that his quarterback Joe Burrow is done for the year. So he didn't even have a quarterback at the time that he made this side bet, but he believes in his team. Right now, Sleeper, of course, has this deadlocked at 130 to 130, just to add even more excitement to this matchup. Zach has his boy Lemar on Monday night, who he will be in attendance for. That just sets it up for, it's a close game going to Monday night. Lemar pops off, gets Zach the win, and then he gets that $100 payment sent to him as he's leaving the stadium. I could just see that
Pusa
right now.
is paying for my ticket.
Oh, yeah, true. Jonathan Taylor against Tennessee. Should be a pretty decent matchup there, as Taylor had a monster week this past week. James Conner against the 49ers. Big division game there against those 2-0 teams. Connors looks solid so far this year. Obviously, Jamar Chase against Minnesota. I know Pook was stating that he's going to have the number 1 overall wide receiver now with Jefferson. I don't think that's true, because I think the other side, Jamar Chase, the number 1 wide receiver, will do his thing this week. Even with Browning in there, I think you'll see a lot of catches for him. Because I think when in doubt, Browning's just going to throw it up to him. Scary Terry against the Raiders. I could see a world where Scary Terry does break out this week against the Raiders. Zach has Dalton Kincaid on Thursday night, so he has a Thursday night player tomorrow to get him started against Miami. Pretty good matchup. Expect decent game, and you'll want Zach to get off to a good start. Obviously, Bill Krosky Merritt, the new RB1 for this team with Eckler now being out against the Raiders. A decent matchup there for Bill. He obviously did absolutely nothing last week, so he'll be looking now with a full game as the number 1 running back to have a good game. Nick Chubb against Jacksonville. He surprised me last week with how good he did. I could not believe he had like a 29-yard catch and run. He had another long touchdown run as well. So he surprised me. I don't know if he can keep doing that, but against Jacksonville, maybe. And then the new pickup of kicker for Atlanta against Carolina. On Cronky's side, he has Daniel Jones against Tennessee. That's the type of game where Daniel Jones should continue playing well. But for some odd reason, I just don't think Daniel Jones is going to sustain the type of season that he's put up in the first 2 weeks. Could this be the type of game where Tennessee's just decent enough to make him look back to the shit Daniel Jones? I don't know. Could be this week. If it's not this week, it will be eventually. Bijan Robinson against Carolina obviously is a great matchup there. I think the only thing that stops Bijan is if Tyler Algier gets in there and steals a touchdown. So hopefully that doesn't happen for Kroenke. Tony Pollard against the Colts as well. So that Titans-Colts game is a big one for Kroenke's team. JSN against the Saints. Love that matchup there for him. Devontae Adams against the Eagles. He had a great week last week. Can he keep that going against the Eagles? We'll see. Ferguson against the Bears. Pretty good matchup there. I like Ferguson for this week. Jordan Mason, the new RB1 for Minnesota right now with Aaron Jones on IR against Cincinnati. Cincinnati's been better on defense than I think people expected. But that's kind of a question mark on how Jordan Mason will do. He runs hard, and it wouldn't surprise me if he has a decent game. Jameson Williams against on Monday night, so he does have a Monday night player to counter Zach's Lemar. He'll be hate watching Jameson and hope you don't see him break a long touchdown, right?
I may break his leg if I have to.
All right, we may have our first ever assassination attempt on Jameson Williams in the crowd by Zach if the fantasy matchup's close. Zach, if you're down, let's say you're down 15 points going into Monday night, and he has Jameson Williams and you have Lemar, are you going down and trying to take Jameson Williams out?
Let's just say he might not even make it to the game.
FBI, his name is Zachary Klemke.
All right. Matt Prater then on Thursday night, so he does have a Thursday night player as well tomorrow night, the kicker against Miami. You know, on paper, I do like Zach's team slightly better. I think his matchups are decent, and he's got players in some key spots that I think could have big games this week. You know, the $100 on it is huge. You know, the fact that Kroenke could start 0-3 is huge. You know, I think this game, I hate to say it, I think this game does just come down to Monday night. And I think Lamar, he's been red hot to start this season, fantasy-wise. And I think against Detroit, I think he can put up numbers. And I'm going to have to take Zach. I do agree with Sleeper. It will be kind of high scoring. I think there's some players on Kroenke's side that's going to have big games like JSN and Bijan. But I think the difference is just going to be Zach's receivers are going to have bigger games than Kroenke's. And I think his flexes will do just okay to outweigh, and I think the quarterback's going to be the difference. So I'm going to take Zach in a close, high-scoring matchup. If Zach's in attendance, you know Lamar's going to pop off. Rat, who's winning this matchup?
My boy Kroenke is going to win this matchup, and Zach is going to lose in heartbreaking fashion when there's about 50 seconds left on the clock, and Lamar is going to have to kneel down one more time, and Zach is going to lose by 0.1, and Kroenke is going to win the matchup.
All right. I would hate to see what Zach does there in the stadium if Lamar's going to take a kneel down. He might run out on the field to try to stop that.
Zach's going to try to hurt Jameson Williams, and it's going to backfire.
I will be getting the cheap seats for a reason, just in case I have to.
Okay.
But you will be at a heartbreaker on Monday, Zach.
Okay. You know, one could argue the winner of this matchup kind of just already is scot-free for the rest of the season because they basically almost make their money back for their entry. Of course, unless Kroenke comes in last or something and has to pay the extra punishment. All right, Zombie, who's winning this matchup?
Three things will happen this weekend. One is that Anth will lose.
Okay.
Two is that Zach will lose.
Fuck you, Zombie. Your team fucking sucks. Your team's
is
ass.
That I will win
no.
And I will be in first place.
Your team's ass.
Okay.
You fucking suck.
All right.
Wow.
So you picked all the 2-0 teams to lose and you to win. All right. Interesting. Not biased there at all. All right. Zach, you're going to the game. You're 2-0. You have a chance to send Kroenke to 0-3, which would just cause a mass panic. Will you see that victory in person on Monday night?
Not much to say about this matchup, really. I think it, could be an easy one.
Oh, so you think you might already have the win before you go to the Monday night game?
Yeah, but I'm kind of hoping that Lemar has to do something just to make it a little interesting.
Oh, okay.
Pusa, you might as well just send me my money now. Not, easy win. Not much to say.
Easy win. All right. And are you worried about Danny Jones at all?
Not worried about Danny Pennies. Also, I'd like to say I might find a way to sneak Warren in my lineup.
Oh, okay.
Easy win.
Switching out Chubb for Warren?
For who?
Okay. Well, you do have kind of a question there of who to start, so don't start the wrong guy. That you would hate for that to be the difference.
You can have Alvin Kamara.
Let's talk. Honor's yours.
All right. Kroenke, huge week for you. Massive week. 0-2. You don't want to go 0-3. Then you add the side bet to it of $100. You got Daniel Jones as your quarterback, which I don't think I've ever seen a fantasy team win with Daniel Jones as their quarterback. Believe it or not, he has been started a few times by people in the past.
Wait, there's
I am
$100
one of
bet?
them.
Yes,
I'm one of them.
yes. Zach and
What?
Kroenke have a side bet this week of $100.
I feel like you just ignored everything I said, Zombie. But yeah, keep going.
Are
Buddy,
you still taking
who
Kroenke
proposed
to
it?
win?
Who proposed it? Was it?
Pusa proposed it.
Whoa.
Zach asked about a side bet, and then Kroenke agreed, and
No,
then they said $100.
it was Pusa's idea.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and he did all that with no
Pusa.
quarterback because he knew Burrow was already done. So even more balls to Kroenke. So Kroenke, speak for yourself here. Why are you getting this win?
Pusa was gonna have Justin Fields save his week.
I would like to say this. I think we're forgetting that one of Zach's wide receivers could be in like serious production jeopardy because his quarterback might not play this week. His quarterback has not practiced. I think we forget that, and so that would mean that
we have Mariota as backup, buddy. Relax.
Yeah, so his wide receivers would have two backups.
Okay.
At quarterback.
We're fine.
He does have the Commanders running back though, which you would figure they would run it a little more if Mariota's in there. But okay, so so that's a point for you.
We got that white boy over there in Vegas. He ain't gonna get that ball ran on.
All right, so that could be a positive for you.
I am going to win, but it's going to be a close game, and I just want to move to the games where I'm just simply going to win, which is going to start next week. But we're not looking forward. We're looking now.
So are you saying that your matchups the last 2 weeks were not like ones that you should have won?
I should have won last week, no doubt about it. And the first week I had an opportunity to win and just did not win. So that's the way the cookie crumbles.
So you're not concerned at all that coming down to Monday night with Lamar Jackson, who's been on fire, that it could just be another Monday night? You know, maybe this year for you is just the year of close calls, but Monday night disasters and heartbreak?
I'm not worried about that. No.
Okay.
I think it's going to start off on a good foot tomorrow when Matt Prater outscores his tight end. And
okay. That would be a good start for you. All right.
I think JSN will pop off. I think Bijan will pop off. I think Daniel Jones is going to put up a sufficient enough point, something that I could just put on the board. Start me off hot. I think that's all I need.
Okay.
I'm high on Ferguson. I think Ferguson's going to have a good week. I think that'll be a shootout over there in Chicago. And Mason's going to do great things, with him getting the full course meal over there in Minnesota. I think.
So do you disagree then with Pook about his claim of he's got the wide receiver one now with Carson Wentz? Because obviously that hurts Mason some if they're just throwing a lot to Jefferson.
I guess he's watching Carson Wentz tape somewhere because I don't think
when he was on the Eagles.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen Carson Wentz throw a football in years.
Pusa, question for you.
I don't know what tape he's watching, but yeah.
Pusa, would you like to up the stakes of our bet?
Oh my God.
What are we talking here?
I don't know, 150.
What if the winner? I got a proposition for both of you.
Shut up!
The loser next week has to admit they drafted a worse team.
Okay, Rat. Enough with your proposals.
Yeah, shut the hell up, buddy.
That was the money adds more to the stakes.
150, Pusa.
Well, I'll save it for next week, or save it for
Kroenke, you might want to consider, if you truly believe you're going to win this, you might want to consider doing that, because right now you're behind a lot of people.
I'd like to see him back it
You're
up.
behind a lot of people on your other bets.
We'll keep it at 100, and
you don't really believe you're going to win.
Okay. You put $100 on a single week of fantasy football. I think he's somewhat.
What's 50 more? That's
especially with Daniel Jones as your quarterback, who I've never seen win a fantasy
That's half
matchup.
price.
Okay. All right. You guys can discuss that later on.
What's $50 when you already got 100 on it?
Okay. All right. Well, we will definitely be interested in this one. I hope it comes right down to Monday night. There's potential for a lot of these games to come down to Monday night this week, as the matchup on Monday night is great with a lot of fantasy players. So good luck to everyone in week 3. Make sure you keep an eye on your lineups. Real quickly to go over the player prop picks from last week. We had a much improved week last week compared to week 1. This maybe could give us some hope that we can hit one of these parlays one of this week, as there was only 3 people that lost compared to we only had 3 people correct in week 1, and then, or 4 people correct in week 1, and then this week we had almost the whole league, 9 out of the 12. So good job improving. Hopefully, we can keep improving, and one of these weeks we can hit something. Obviously, you can see who all got it right. The only 3 that lost were Tyler. Herb's passing line, he got hooked at the very end. He had 247. Needed the 255. Barkley got hooked on reception. He had 2. He needed 3. And then we don't even need to talk about Pooks with Joe Flacco and that whole mess. But hey, he's got until Sunday morning now to do his full research on his picks. So I sure hope whatever he gives hits this upcoming week, because as you know, you'll have until Sunday morning at 11 Eastern to give me the pick. For you West Coast people that may be sleeping in on Sunday morning, if you're one of those, make sure you give me the pick by Saturday then, or Saturday night. Do not make me come hunting down for the picks on Sunday morning at 11, and if you don't respond and somehow we don't get your pick in. So keep an eye on that. Just because you have till Sunday morning doesn't mean you have to wait until Sunday morning to give your pick. Don't procrastinate. Look ahead of time when the lines come out or whenever you have an idea. Slaps gave me his pick today. He's going with Cooper Kupp over 39.5 receiving yards.
See you week 4.
So that is, hey, he's 2-0. You can't knock him. He's 2-0.
That's true. Pook will give you his play at 12:50 right before kickoff, because he did a statistical analysis that he found something that's going to hit.
That will be not acceptable, and
We
I
should
will
just kick
be
Pook out
knocking
of this
down
shit.
his DM door before that, and I will be putting in the bet before that.
This week is cuts for this prop shit. If you miss, you're out for next week.
Unfortunately, it's not, because that's not what we agreed to. We will hit one of these. We just have to stay positive.
Buddy, what if it's you that misses?
Let's
What
give.
the fuck?
I'm 2-0, buddy.
Let's give everybody some leeway. It's only been 2 weeks, but hopefully the 0-2 people. I do just find it a little funny that Ernie was making all those statements knocking certain people, yet he's 0-2 on this, and this was his proposal, by the way. So Ernie, let's get a win this week, buddy. Come on. I will say the people that picked alt lines did extremely well, aka Pusa knocked his down to 40. He originally was going to do 50. Devontae Smith was knocked down by Rat to 40. Jerry Jeudy was an alt line. I knocked Chase down. Rodgers barely hit by 1 yard. Congrats to Ant on knocking that down. So, when you take an alt line that's a little less, it seems to be doing better so far this year. Just keep that in mind, people. Tyler took the normal line on Herbert and got hooked. If he would have just took 225, he would have hit. So keep that in mind when you're making your pick. You do not have to just do the normal line. You can do an alt line. And then obviously we're 0-2 with $24 difference. So keep that in mind on the picks. Make sure you DM me those once you have them. And good luck to everyone in week 3. And we'll catch you back here next week for the preview of week 4 and what happens in week 3.